Have you ever questioned whether your everyday routines might be quietly accelerating the aging process? The reality is, many of the habits we trust to keep us comfortable or efficient can gradually chip away at our vitality, mental focus, and independence as we grow older. After turning 70, behaviors that once felt harmless, like skipping physical activity, eating the same way you did in your 40s, or avoiding modern technology, can lead to stiffness, fatigue, forgetfulness, and even feelings of disconnect. The problem is, by the time you notice the effects, the damage may already be well underway. In this video, we'll explore 6 surprising habits you may want to rethink, not because someone else says so, but because breaking them could help you reclaim a stronger, more confident, and rewarding lifestyle. Be sure to stick around through the end, where you'll get simple, practical tips to help shift these habits. And hear uplifting examples like Henry, 80, who rebuilt strength through gentle workouts, or Linda, 72, who boosted her energy just by making smarter food choices. You may begin to see these habits reflected in your own life and walk away with clear steps to help you feel more like yourself again. Whether you're over 70 or supporting a loved one, this video is filled with guidance to protect your independence, improve well-being, and approach aging with intention and hope. Don't miss it. Subscribe, tap the bell, and let's dive into these transformative strategies that can truly help you flourish in this stage of life. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and click that button and activate the notification bell so you're always up to date. Your support truly means a lot to me. And if you find this content valuable, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone you care about. If you enjoy this topic, leave a comment with the number 1. If it wasn't quite what you hoped, comment 0, so I know how to make future videos even better. Now, let's get started. Number 1. Avoiding activities that build muscle. One of the most widespread and unfortunate misconceptions people have after age 70 is the belief that slowing down and limiting movement is the safer path. On the surface, this thinking may sound logical. Your joints feel tighter, your balance isn't what it used to be, and suddenly, lifting anything heavier than a small grocery bag feels daunting. So, you convince yourself that taking it easy will help you avoid harm. But here's the truth. That mindset is one of the most dangerous you can adopt in later life. Choosing to neglect muscle-strengthening exercises and falling into a sedentary routine can slowly take away your freedom. It's like quietly agreeing to give up the ability to move with ease and confidence. Muscle loss often creeps in without warning. It doesn't always hurt, but it limits you. Simple tasks, like getting up from a chair or reaching to tie your shoes, can start to feel like impossible challenges. But muscles aren't just about physical power. They're vital to your overall health and survival. They help you stay strong, energized, and ready to face whatever life sends your way. Without that foundation, your independence begins to fade, and with it, the freedom to live on your own terms. As we grow older, a condition known as sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss, progresses more rapidly unless we take steps to counteract it. But that doesn't mean you need to train like a competitive athlete, lift heavy weights, or run long distances. No, wuss. It's about preserving the muscle you already have by keeping it active and engaged. Gentle, manageable movements, using body weight, light hand weights, or resistance bands, can make a big difference. You don't need hours in a fitness center. Just a few focused minutes each day with steady effort. What matters most is consistency and purpose. Every time you rise from a chair without help, every time you walk through your home or reach overhead to grab something, it's your muscles doing the work. Let me share a story. Meet Martin, an 80-year-old who used to believe that avoiding physical effort was the safest choice. After taking a minor tumble a few years back, he grew cautious, worried that even mild activity might cause another injury. He began limiting his movement, spending much of his time on the couch and sticking to only the safest tasks. He truly thought he was protecting himself, With the guidance of a physical therapist, he realized that staying inactive was actually making things worse. He started small, with just 5 minutes of simple strength routines. Nothing fancy, nothing risky. He began by rising from a chair without using his hands, lifting small soup cans, and practicing balance by standing on one leg next to the kitchen counter. Within 2 months, something remarkable happened. His legs regained strength, and even more importantly, his confidence returned. It was the kind of confidence that comes from knowing you can move through your day with purpose and control. The kind that lets you get out of bed without worry, stroll through a store without leaning on a cart, and lower yourself to the floor to play with your grandchildren, knowing you'll have the strength to stand back up again. Strength isn't just about movement. It's about dignity. It's the quiet pride of knowing your body still supports the life you want to live. It's the calm assurance that comes from being independent and in control of your choices. And the most encouraging part, you don't need to spend hours working out to get there. Just a handful of simple, steady movements done on a regular basis can help reclaim what aging tries to take away. Many people rarely talk about muscle loss because it sneaks up slowly. It doesn't come with sharp pain or sudden decline at first, but over time, you begin to feel it. A shortness of breath when using stairs, the need to grab something for support when standing, the quiet frustration when your body seems to fail you at the wrong moment. But here's the good news. The sooner you start addressing it, the easier it is to turn around. And it's never too late to begin. You don't need fancy machines or costly gear. What you truly need is the decision to make your strength a priority, to take ownership of your health, and push back against the idea that rest equals safety. Number 2, eating the same way you did in your 40s. For so many individuals over the age of 70, one of the most difficult habits to let go of is sticking to the eating routines they followed in their younger days. You know the pattern: same portion sizes, same comfort meals, same meal times, and it feels safe, predictable, and familiar. For years, maybe even decades, it served them well. But let me be honest with you. Your body is no longer the well-tuned engine it was in your 40s. The truth is, it's changed, and it now has different needs. Your metabolism has slowed. Your digestion isn't quite as efficient as it used to be, and your nutritional demands have shifted. The fact is, many seniors continue eating out of routine instead of true hunger. They've trained themselves to expect the same portions and the same types of food at the same times every day. It's comforting, yes, but not necessarily what their aging body is calling for. And here's the tricky part. This quiet, automatic behavior can lead to weight gain, fatigue, and even the onset of issues like blood sugar imbalances. It's a slow-moving thief, gradually stealing your energy without you even realizing it. What's important to realize is that once you're past 70, every meal carries more weight. You might not need as much food as you did in the past, but what you do need is nutrient-dense, gentle-on-the-stomach foods that support your body, mind, bones, and daily energy. It's about making wiser choices, cutting back on large servings of heavy meats, white carbs, and processed treats, and embracing smaller, balanced meals that feature fiber-rich vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats, and hydrating fruit. This isn't about starving or depriving yourself. It's about feeding your body what it actually needs now, not what it used to need. Let me share Linda's story with you. She's 72, and for most of her life, she didn't think twice about how she ate 3 solid meals a day, just like she always had. But little by little, things began to shift. After dinner, she would often feel uncomfortably full. Her energy would dip by late afternoon. Her clothes started fitting tighter. It wasn't dramatic, but it was enough to catch her attention. Her doctor didn't scold her or recommend a strict diet. He simply encouraged her to try something gentle and thoughtful, reduce her portions, include more plant-based foods, and pay closer attention to how full she felt. Within just a few weeks, Linda experienced real change. She dropped a bit of weight. Her alertness improved. Her sleep became more restful. And she even noticed a more balanced emotional state that surprised her. It wasn't about overhauling her life. It was about simple changes that respected what her body needed now. If you're still watching and find this message helpful, please type 1 in the comments to let me know you're with me. Just like you wouldn't keep wearing shoes from your 30s because they no longer fit or support you, your eating habits deserve an update too. Aging is a journey that brings wisdom with every step, and that includes becoming more thoughtful about what we feed our bodies. Eating less isn't about restriction. It's about making better choices. It's about giving your body exactly what it needs to perform well, while cutting back on the extras that weigh you down. When you begin choosing balanced, intentional meals, you'll start to feel the shift. Your body will reward you with steadier energy, sharper thinking, and a more even emotional state. And here's something important. It's perfectly okay to create new eating patterns during this season of life. It's one of the purest forms of self-respect. You're not losing the pleasure of food. You're building a deeper, more nourishing relationship with it. You're learning what truly fuels your body, what helps you thrive, and what makes you feel your very best. That kind of understanding isn't just helpful, it's deeply empowering. It's an act of self-love, a way of honoring your current stage of life and providing your body with the care it needs and deserves. Number 3. Disconnecting from social interaction. As we grow older, the tendency to slowly retreat inward, often without realizing it, becomes more common. After age 70, it's surprisingly easy to slip into isolation. It can start subtly, skipping a gathering here, declining an invitation there, until it becomes a quiet habit. You might catch yourself canceling plans more frequently, convincing yourself that staying home is just more comfortable. But here's the truth. Isolation doesn't always come from a desire to be alone. It often creeps in due to physical challenges, emotional pain, or the quiet belief that you no longer have much to offer. Maybe you've noticed that people don't reach out the way they once did, and it's hard not to feel forgotten. So, you pull back bit by bit, until one day you find yourself in a space that feels safe, but strangely empty. You might tell yourself the quiet is peaceful, that solitude suits you. But deep inside, the truth gets harder to ignore. Isolation isn't just a mild inconvenience. It's a serious and measurable risk to your well-being. Loneliness is more than a passing emotion. It can have physical effects. Studies have shown that a lack of meaningful social connection in seniors is linked to depression, memory decline, and an increased risk of heart issues. The brain, much like the body, thrives on connection, on shared stories, laughter, and the exchange of feelings. Without those regular moments of contact, the mind slowly turns inward. And that's where the danger truly lies. Consider light conversations, shared jokes, or the comfort of a quick phone call. These aren't just surface-level moments. They're vital to your mental and emotional health. They're like mental workouts, keeping your mind active, responsive, and engaged. More importantly, these moments reinforce your sense of value. They remind you that you still matter, that you are still appreciated. Let's look at Diane, for example. She's 77, and after losing her husband, she gradually began to drift away from the friends and groups she used to enjoy. Initially, she believed she needed space to heal. But what started as a short break slowly turned into years of silence. As time went on, her thoughts grew hazy. Her days seemed to run together, and even simple tasks began to feel overwhelming. Her granddaughter noticed the shift and gently encouraged her to try something different, a weekly yoga class for seniors. Diane, hesitant and uncertain, agreed to give it a shot. What truly surprised her wasn't the physical movement. It was the sense of connection, the short conversations before class, the playful banter afterward, even the shared giggles about their week. These small moments of interaction rekindled a spark in Diana's spirit, bringing a sense of brightness and enthusiasm back into her days. She hadn't realized how deeply she craved the company of others, how much she missed the feeling of belonging to something greater than herself. But this doesn't mean you have to sign up for every club or force yourself into loud, crowded events. It's not about packing your calendar with obligations. It's about discovering simple, meaningful ways to remain socially connected. A weekly phone chat with a close friend, a casual walk with someone down the street, attending a small gathering at your local community center, or even joining an online forum around a shared hobby. These everyday efforts are like small servings of emotional nourishment. They boost your mood, renew your energy, and, most importantly, they remind you that you're not alone. The more we stay connected, the stronger and more emotionally balanced we become. Social bonds enrich us. They add meaning to our routines and light up the quiet corners of our lives. Yet, isolation often feels deceptively safe. It's still. It's familiar. But there's a major difference between appreciating solitude and cutting yourself off. The first recharges you. It fills your cup. The second, over time, quietly drains it. You have so much value to bring to the world. Your experience, your compassion, your wit. People are better simply by being around you, even if you don't always realize it. And when you reach out, it's not only healing for you. It becomes a soft reminder to someone else that they're not facing life alone either. Your connection has meaning. Your presence brings comfort. And in a world that sometimes feels distant, one small act of connection can be truly transformative, not only for you, but for someone else too. Number 4. Ignoring mild health symptoms. Brushing off small health concerns might seem harmless, but it's actually one of the riskiest habits you can develop after turning 70. We all recognize the signs: the occasional dizziness, a bit of chest discomfort, or feeling unusually tired in the late afternoon. These issues might appear so minor that we don't give them a second thought. We chalk it up to aging. It's nothing serious, we tell ourselves. I don't want to trouble anyone. And besides, we're worn out from endless doctor appointments. So, we stay silent. We overlook it. But here's the difficult truth. Dismissing these minor warnings can result in severe, even life-threatening outcomes. As we age, our bodies grow more delicate, more sensitive, and, paradoxically, they also start sending stronger signals, if we're paying attention. These quiet messages we once ignored are now speaking up, trying to alert us before something more serious develops. That minor swelling in your ankles may not be just an occasional nuisance. It could be your heart sending you a critical message. The forgetfulness you casually dismiss might be more than a simple memory lapse. It could be an early warning of something far more serious. As we grow older, ignoring these small signals only makes it more difficult to handle health issues down the road. What might have been easy to treat becomes a much bigger challenge. Early detection isn't about creating fear. It's about staying ahead and being responsible for your health. It's about making informed decisions that put you in control. And that's something we should always fight to keep. Believe me, taking action early is truly invaluable. I recall Peter, a 76-year-old gentleman I met some years ago. Peter always saw himself as tough. He didn't want to seem dramatic and avoided visiting the doctor whenever possible. If he didn't feel immediate discomfort, he figured it wasn't worth worrying about. But over time, he noticed his eyesight getting worse and a tingling sensation in his feet. He brushed it off, thinking, that's just what aging feels like. It wasn't until his daughter became concerned and convinced him to get checked out that he finally went in. That one appointment changed everything. Peter learned he had early-stage diabetes. Fortunately, because it was caught in time, he was able to manage it by changing his diet and adding daily walks to his routine. His doctor was clear. Had he waited just a little longer, the outcome could have been far more serious. He was fortunate. We know our bodies better than anyone. When something feels off or a symptom doesn't sit right, we have every reason to take it seriously. This isn't about panicking. It's about taking ownership of our health. It's about giving ourselves the strongest chance at a longer, better quality life. Not every illness shows up with alarms and obvious pain. Some creep in quietly, and if we're not careful, they can slip by without notice. But in our later years, those subtle signs matter more than ever. Responding to them early can mean shorter recoveries, fewer medications, and more time doing what we love. It also means having faith in yourself, trusting your gut. And if you feel like your doctor is brushing aside your concerns, don't be afraid to push for answers. Seek another opinion, or advocate for what you need. You are worth that effort. You absolutely deserve to protect the life you still want to enjoy. Number 5. Relying on memory instead of writing things down. As we get older, one of the most gradual but impactful habits that can take hold is depending too much on memory. If you're over 70, you may find yourself thinking back to a time when remembering birthdays, appointments, and medications was second nature. You kept track of everything mentally, and it worked well. There was no need for calendars or reminders. It even felt like a point of pride to manage it all in your head. But as the years go by, things tend to shift in ways we might not immediately recognize. The reality is, our memory just isn't as quick as it once was. It may not be failing altogether, but it's definitely slowing its pace. We're all familiar with that moment. You're trying to recall something simple, like a name, a fact, or a detail that feels like it's right on the edge of your memory. And while it's tempting to dismiss those slip-ups, they can gradually become more regular and, unfortunately, more serious. Forgetting a casual lunch date is one thing, but not remembering whether you took your medication is a completely different story. That kind of slip can have real consequences for your health. Being unsure if you've already taken your pills can result in an accidental double dose. Or worse, missing one altogether. It's a far more common problem than most care to admit. And it can be dangerous, especially with essential medications like those for high blood pressure, diabetes, or chronic pain. But let me make this clear. Using reminders, keeping notes, and tracking your routines isn't a weakness. It's actually a mark of wisdom. It's a smart and reliable way to look after your health and protect your peace of mind. I want to tell you about Edward, someone I respect greatly. At 71, Edward had always taken pride in his excellent memory. He was the one his family counted on to recall birthdays, manage the household finances, and keep everything running smoothly without ever consulting a planner. Writing things down felt unnecessary to him because he trusted his mind to do the job. But eventually, things shifted. After forgetting an important doctor's visit and skipping his morning medication twice in 1 week, Edward realized something had changed. His mental sharpness wasn't quite what it used to be. If you're still watching this video and these insights resonate with you, please leave a comment to let me know you're still following along. At first, Edward felt a sting of embarrassment, as if acknowledging that he needed help meant he was giving in. He didn't want to depend on a system he once thought was for others, not for him. But once he began jotting a few things down and using his phone to set reminders, something remarkable happened. It wasn't just that he became more organized. He felt lighter, calmer. He told me it was like putting down a weight he hadn't even noticed he was carrying. Our brains are incredibly capable, but they're also human. After decades of life, memories, and learning, it's only natural for our short-term memory to slow somewhat. That doesn't mean there's a problem. It simply suggests that a little extra support can make a big difference. Using a notebook, placing a calendar on your refrigerator, or setting alerts on your phone isn't a sign you're slipping. It's proof that you're taking smart, intentional steps to care for your life. What surprises many is just how freeing it feels to move tasks out of your mind and into a reliable system. It helps clear mental noise and ease pressure. Instead of mentally repeating the same to-do list over and over, you can now trust the tools you've put in place to carry that burden for you. Your mind can finally breathe a little easier, and that alone brings a greater sense of peace and confidence. So don't be afraid to make life a bit simpler for yourself. Embrace the tools that can help you stay organized and in control. You deserve the relief and the clarity that comes from using these simple systems. After all, it's not about your memory failing. It's about being wise enough to recognize when it's time to give your mind a short break. And trust me, that's a strength, not a weakness. Number 6. Turning away from technology altogether. One of the most subtle, yet deeply limiting patterns that many people over 70 fall into, often without even noticing, is the choice to avoid technology completely. It's an easy habit to fall into. Maybe it seems like too much trouble. Perhaps you've given it a shot and felt entirely overwhelmed by the unfamiliar terms and complicated settings. Or maybe you've convinced yourself that technology just isn't for you, telling yourself things like, "I don't need all that," or "I'm too old to learn anything new," or "I've managed fine without it for years." In the moment, those thoughts may bring a feeling of comfort or safety. They might even offer a sense of confidence in your routine. But what they're doing is gently distancing you from tools that have the potential to genuinely enhance your life. Technology doesn't have to be this intimidating beast we sometimes make it out to be. It doesn't mean diving into social media or purchasing every flashy new gadget that appears. It can be as basic as learning how to send a simple text, using a voice assistant to schedule a reminder, or even checking your health records online. These small, manageable things can shift your everyday experience in ways that may surprise you. You see, technology isn't a passing craze or something you have to pretend to enjoy. It's a lifeline, a way for you to handle prescriptions, stay connected with your family, request help in emergencies, and look up anything you need in just seconds. So when you decide to ignore it completely, you're not avoiding stress. You're only deepening your dependence on other people, and that can be a very isolating feeling. Let me share a story with you. Meet Diana. At 78, Diana was someone who leaned on her daughter for nearly everything, checking her appointments, reviewing prescription refills, and even learning about upcoming events or gatherings. Her daughter was always there to support her. But Diana began to feel something no one ever wants to feel: dependent. She didn't want to believe she was becoming a burden, but slowly that was becoming her reality. One day, her grandson sat down with her and showed her how to use her phone's calendar app, set reminders, and even how to refill her prescriptions through her pharmacy's website. At first, Diana had a hard time. There were plenty of questions, a few mistakes, and moments filled with doubt. But gradually, something wonderful began to unfold. She started managing tasks by herself that used to require frequent calls to her daughter. The true breakthrough came when she experienced something she hadn't felt in a long while: capable, independent. That's really what this is all about. It's not about keeping up with every new tech trend or mastering every app that hits the market. It's about reclaiming your sense of freedom, one meaningful step at a time. Small wins with technology build up quickly: checking the forecast, reading messages from loved ones, getting health updates, or even joining a virtual class. These little changes can have a huge impact on your confidence, showing you that you can adjust, evolve, and, most importantly, stay connected to the life happening around you. You don't need to become a tech expert. What really helps is a bit of curiosity and someone with the patience to walk you through it. If you've ever felt embarrassed or discouraged because you didn't know how something worked, it's time to let that feeling go. Everyone begins somewhere, and no one expects you to get everything right the first time. The real beauty lies in giving yourself permission to learn, to stumble, and to keep going. Technology isn't something to fear as you get older. In fact, it can become one of your greatest tools. The more open you are to it, the more options you give yourself. Closing thoughts. As we wrap up this video, I encourage you to pause for a quiet moment of reflection. Think back on everything we've shared today. Which one of these habits felt familiar? Which one surprised you? After 70, the way we live often shifts. But unfortunately, no one gives us a revised playbook. It's easy to fall into routines that feel safe, but over time, those habits may be quietly wearing down your well-being, your freedom, and your sense of ease. But here's the good news. It's never too late to change. You don't need to transform your whole life overnight. It starts with recognizing these 6 common missteps and taking a small but intentional step forward. Maybe that's adding a little movement to your routine, adjusting your meals to fit your body's needs, or simply asking someone to guide you through using that unfamiliar phone. Remember, you're not falling behind. You're learning how to move forward with greater clarity and confidence. You are capable. You are valuable. And you are never too old to start again. As we close this video, I want to pause and reflect on what we've covered. These are powerful habits, ones that can quietly hold us back or gently push us toward a stronger, more intentional life as we grow older. Technology, movement, independence, and the intentional decisions we make each day. These are the building blocks of a vibrant and meaningful life. Now, I'd really love to hear from you. What's one takeaway from today's video that truly spoke to you? What's one small adjustment you're inspired to make based on what we've talked about? Leave a comment below and share your reflections. I genuinely believe that when we open up and share, we have the power to encourage others. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Pass it along to someone who could use it, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you'll always stay in the loop. We're on this journey together, and I'm deeply thankful you've spent your time here with us. Take care, and I'll see you again